might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
It's time!
Welcome back. Today is Sunday, March 3rd, 2024. We are in the third day of March already. Time is zooming by. If you do not know who I am your host of the show and of this Sunday afternoon software exploration. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where, as always and forever, we are engineered to win. Yes, we are. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be getting to Terraform. We're going to continue working on configuring our MongoDB for the project that I'm working on with my tech barbarians. It's also Scrum Night tonight. And we're going to get into a little bit of discussion about essentials for IT, but I'm going to focus in on a little bit more about for QA professionals in IT, even if you are just a manual tester, all right? Shout out to my manual testers out there. I am hoping that you are looking to grow into being a QA engineer, going into automation. Really cool stuff, all right? So that is the plan. That's what we're going to be talking about today. A lot of things to do, a lot of things to learn. Everything that we are working on is to build, to build our knowledge, build our skill set so that we can be very dynamic in whatever role that we are in IT. We can go out there and we can crush it, all right? I am all about crushing it. I'm about my success, about your success. I want to see you win as much as I win in this industry, all right? So that's why we work together. We are a team, we are a partnership, and that's why we are always going to be successful together, all right? So shout out to all of that and to all the wonderful people out there who are joining in for the show today, okay? So let's get it started. First and foremost, I want to say a big thank you to all of the newest subscribers. We just passed 800 subscribers. Yes, we did. And we are going, there is no limit. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that can stop us. We are on our way to the moon, to infinity and beyond. All right. So shout out to the newest subscribers. Shout out to the older subscribers who have been with me for a very, very long time. Shout out to Don. Shout out to Socks. All that good stuff. All right. So thank you to you all. So many different people that, I can't even go down the list. But, I just want to say thank you to everyone as we continue to grow, as we continue to excel. Okay. So the other thing, I want to say a big salute to my tech barbarians. Reminder, tonight is Scrum Night. What exactly is Scrum Night? If you are not a tech barbarian or a tech prodigy member, you may not know. But for my coaching group from the Patreon, we have every 2 weeks, we have Scrum Night, where during the 2 weeks, we have a project that we're working on. We're building an application that's technically live to the public, but in this coming sprint, I am going to get a domain for it in particular so that it can be on its own. We're also going to be turning it into a mobile app, all of that. And what I use that for is for you can actually build experience working on an actual app, working in the agile methodology. We are using Scrum, where we have our 2-week sprints, and we have where we are doing Scrum Night. We're doing our sprint review, sprint retrospective, and planning for our next sprint, so that you can actually have that real software development experience that you guys so desperately need. You guys think it is, oh, let me go take this boot camp or let me go and take this course. And all of a sudden I am good to go. It doesn't work that way. You need to put there's so much more, right? And when I was speaking to one of my recruiter friends, for lack of a better word, they said, you know what? The gap between when you guys come out of a boot camp or even college, right? A boot camp online course versus when you are job ready, it is huge, huge, right? I can't even tell you how wide the gap is. And that's where I come in, where I am trying to help you bridge that gap, because I've been in the software industry for 20 years now, right? Started off in tech support at the bottom in tech support, and I worked my way up, and now here I am sharing this information with you, right? And you want to be in my field? Well, you're going to have to do the work. So if you are willing to do the work, then it is definitely attainable. Sometimes a little bit harder than other times, but hey, this is the life we signed up for, right? So just sharing that. That's a little snippet of what goes on into the Patreon, into the coaching group. We also have in the exclusive content, we're going to be doing a live agile, how to implement agile into your life, into your day-to-day life, so you can mirror the things that we do at work, so you can have the same type of success that these companies have. You can have that in your life as well. Like I said in a video before in the Candid Conversation, your life is a business, and because of that, we need to manage it as a business. So that means implementing the agile methodology into our lives, right? So, anyways, I'm going on a tangent, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Those are the things that we're working on. Tonight is Scrum Night. So after I jump off of this call tonight, not this call, you see, I'm losing it already. After I get off of this live stream, then a few hours later, jumping on to doing Scrum Night with my tech barbarians, where we are going to wrap up this sprint that we're just finishing up, and we're going to go into the next sprint to plan for our next part of the software that we're building. All right. So sharing a little bit of insight in case anyone out here wants to join and wants to join a group of people who are headed in the same direction, with the same goals, so that we can go out there and crush the IT industry. All right. So the link for the Patreon is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat, if you want to join me in our path to success. All right. Just throwing that out there. All right. Let's jump in. You know what? Before, let me check if this thing is working, because my bot just disappeared on me, and I want to see if this new bot is willing to join us. Let's see. Okay, so let me see. Let me see. I summon the bot, and we say, "Art thou there, oh great bot?" Let's see what happens. I didn't see it enter the chat or anything like that, but it would be nice if I can get my bot back on my side, because one bot gave up on me, and let's see if we have another bot to join. If not, we'll just figure it out on our own. All right. So, anyhow, let's keep going. The bot doesn't come back. All right. We will make it either way. All right. Let me see. Let's go. Okay. I see it's getting some action. Let me see. I didn't want to test this out before we got any further, because I need the information in the chat. And then with this new bot provider, we can start doing, so let's see in 10 minutes if we have anything pop up. That would be really, really cool. All right. So let's go. All right. So let's keep going. I summon the bot. Let's see what happens. All right. Okay. So let's get into our agenda for today. Okay. So, all right. Let's get into our live show schedule. So I'm going to say it like this, right? We have our morning shows. It's probably going to be changing this Friday, right? So I'm going to say Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:15 a.m. Eastern time. We have coffee and kata. We have a cup of coffee, review some news, and then we get into our work in our mobile app development using Flutter. We've been writing our widget test this past 2 weeks. We're almost done with that. I'm going to fix a bug, and I'm going to add an amazing idea that one of the people who are doing beta testing for me gave me, and I'm going to implement that. And then we're probably going to push that to the App Store again with our test. and with the bug fix and with the newest enhancements. And we'll probably submit that as an MVP to both app stores so that we can go live with that. So, and you will be joining me throughout the whole process. So you can see how I do everything, and we can learn together. Okay. And so that's the morning shows. Friday, I'm gonna figure out what we're gonna do on Fridays. As of right now, I'm gonna say I'm not announcing Friday show because I don't know what we're gonna do because I have something that comes up in the morning on Fridays now. So we'll figure that out. All right. Next up, we have Sunday afternoons. Today we have software explorations where we are working our way through Terraform. We are doing infrastructure as code, and today specifically we're going to be working on integrating, like setting up Mongo Atlas via Terraform so that we can start storing data in Mongo. And I don't know. Let's scratch that. All right. So what we're doing today, we're going to be doing Mongo and Atlas via Terraform. Okay. So we can set up our infrastructure. Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A sessions. We have at 7:15 p.m. we get started. You have questions, I have answers, and I answer your questions in the chat. I find some questions, and if you ever want to call in to ask me a question live, you are more than welcome to do that. You don't even have to be on camera. So consider that the options are open for you, okay? All right, and then Thursday nights. So, oh my God, Thursday nights, all right? Thursday nights. The past 2 weeks, I took a break to sample out the Netflix safe test, and it was a total disaster. But it was an exploration, and we took a detour, and we tried to figure it out. It did not go too well for us. So this past Thursday, I said, I'm just going to work on Flutter for a little bit. And then we continued in the morning, but we are going back to working on my great friend Calculus Coder's site. I was just talking to him before I came live. But he's doing such amazing things. You know what? I'm gonna do this real quick. I want you guys to go over and check out his channel. It is he has such great information, and we're just chatting a little bit earlier today, and he's doing great things. And we're going back to working on automated tests for his free mind recovery site. It's his nonprofit free mind recovery, where I just got it from him, right? He is going to make some enhancements, and he's going to add some new features and make it a more testing friendly website. So just throwing that out there, and look out for that, right? So many things coming, but we're going to continue testing his site on Thursday. This coming Thursday, we're going to continue doing automation using Cypress, using Playwright, and using Selenium, with TypeScript, all right? So many cool things happening. If you're interested in QA, you definitely want to tune in, and you want to go along on the journey with us, all right? I have something for everyone, whether you're interested in infrastructure, whether you're interested in QA, whether you're interested in software development with mobile development, all right? So many cool things. I'm here with you, all right? Cool. All right. Okay, I think I have a new bot. I hired a new bot, and here we are, but I did something that I shouldn't have done. So let me fix something real quick. Then we're going to keep going. Where are you? This one. All right, let's take this out. Cool. So that's fixed. Okay. Hey, we are testing many things all at once. All right. And shout out to you, Jay. Thank you so much for being here. Jay says, thanks, bro. It was good catching up. Oh, see, he got a different day. Awesome. Yes, it's always good to catch up with you. All right. Jay. Okay. Now that makes sense, Jay. You got me good. All right. So now let's jump into, we have our Tuesday nights, we have our Thursday nights. We're going to be working on Calculus Coder site, as I mentioned. So much good stuff. So many different things to learn from, all right? Okay, next up, let's jump into our pre-recorded content. We have Monday's Candid Conversations. Tomorrow's Candid Conversation, I'm about to schedule it as soon as I get off the show. We are going to be talking about the key way for you to be successful in tech, right? Whether you're in QA, whether you're in software engineering, whether you're in cybersecurity, I have a secret for you. For you, for you to be successful in tech, right? And the only thing that you have to do is, in order for you to be successful in tech, is for you to tune in tomorrow at noon and you will find out my secret to being successful in tech, right? What I've used for the past, maybe I didn't use it from when I first got started, but as I've been going through the process, I've been learning more and more. And now I employ this strategy every single day. And that's why I'm able to continue growing the heights that I'm growing. All right. So you definitely want to tune in tomorrow, noon Eastern time, how to be the most successful in tech, regardless of the level that you're at, right? Regardless of the level, how you're going to continue to grow and continue to be more and more successful in tech. Don't miss it. All right. So Mondays, Candid Conversations. Wednesdays, Software Explorations, Concept and Overviews. This coming Wednesday, we're going to go into our third part of our GRC overview, governance, risk management, and compliance in cybersecurity, where we're going to be zoning in, we're going to be digging deeper into risk management. So you don't want to miss that. We're going to have tons and tons of fun. We're going to explore tons and tons of information. And we're going to see about the overlap between, we've only did governance so far, but we're going to see a lot of overlap between governance and risk management and how it all works together and how it works throughout tech and throughout your life. All right. So definitely tune in for that. And then Fridays, we have the Bug Bite, where we review different software related bugs. This coming Friday, we're going to be looking at, for our Bug Bite, we're going to be looking at salaries in cybersecurity, right? Can you get one of those salaries? Are they even realistic? Tune in and find out. All right. And then throughout the week, we have shorts as well as clips from our Q&A show, where we drop different, clips from different videos, as well as we have the clips from the Q&A sessions, right? I cut them up, put them in bite-sized digestible pieces. And then as we move forward, we might start having some more interviews that we release and stuff like that. So many different things that we can do here. The sky is the limit, as the notorious B.I.G. once told us, all right? So something for everyone, some entertainment, but a lot of learning, right? Number one thing is always continuously learn. You always have to learn, okay? So shout out to that, all right? Just shout out to that in general, okay? There is one thing that I needed to share, but give me a second. I got to open Discord to get this link. I promised that I would share it on the show. So if anybody is in the South Florida area, this is going to be for you because it is an in-person meetup, right? Tomorrow night at FIU North Campus over in Biscayne Boulevard, right? Let me get that for you. Right there. All right. Let me drop the link in the chat. So what's happening tomorrow is Code for Miami, which is going to be called Open Miami soon at FIU Biscayne Bay's campus. It's tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you're interested in let me pull it up actually. Let me pull it up so you can see what it's about, right? So, like I said, if you are in Miami, and put the link in the chat for you as well. Hey, my bot is working. Welcome back. Well, Mr. New Bot, because the old bot had to go because it was not playing fairly with us. So let's go over to this screen real quick so I can share this with you. So tour FIU's Biscayne Bay campus facilities on an Open Miami's leadership search, right? I used to live right by this campus, like maybe 10 minutes away from this when I was growing up. So it is the Susan Jacobson of FIU, or Susan Jacobson of FIU will give a tour of the Biscayne Bay facilities, which includes a TV studio and immersive media lab, a theater space, and volumetric capture studio. So we're looking to rebuild a community of civic-minded citizens passionate about technology. If you have the drive to improve the world around you, please join. We'll discuss potential project directions and even a new name. Maybe Open Miami? There goes the address that is going to be taking place. I think the room might have changed, but I'm not 100% sure. But there goes all the details. The link is in the chat. So if you are interested in going, and if you're interested in learning more about it, definitely go to the link and contact the people in the, I guess the two hosts, contact them and they can give you more details and you can get involved, right? So definitely something if you are interested, go ahead and participate. That's how you're going to continue to grow is to get around the people who are into the things that you're into, okay? So that is that. And then the other thing, right? The other group, which is mostly online, but they do have some in-person meetups. If you are looking to join a group of people who can help you, who are willing to help you, and they have the desire to help you, right? Then I would recommend you checking out the group Grammar Hub, right? It's a Discord where they have learning sessions on so every Monday they meet up, right? At 6:30 p.m. They have learning sessions on one Monday. They have another Monday where they'll review your resume and give you live feedback. Then they'll do interview prep, mock interviews, and then it's also a great group to network with. So many different options, and I would highly recommend you check them out. There are some great people in there. I think we're having another meetup next weekend, most likely. Is it next weekend? It's either next weekend or the weekend after that. But great people, definitely would recommend you checking them out. I'm going to drop their information in the chat right here. Let them know that Tech Coach Ralph sent you their way. Great people, great things to learn. So definitely go and check it out. Join the Discord. Let them know that I sent you, and we can go from there. All right. And then 2 other announcements before we get started in our work. Check out Don's GitHub, which is Chaos Camp. Let me get a link for that as well. And go challenge yourself, right? Chaos Camp, it throws you into chaos and it gives you the opportunity to challenge yourself, learn new things. And you've seen in the mornings, we did a bunch of these challenges. We did some of these challenges in the night shows, ways to stimulate your mind, get to work on real life scenarios that you face in the IT industry. So great stuff. I'm just going to drop the link and we'll probably be seeing Don soon up on the show again. He's super, super busy right now, but we have a lot of things that we're working on, and that will be my buddy, my friend for life, my brother for life. All right. And lastly, I am going to throw out the link to Sox University at Ephemeral Networks. We are live, and you are able to sign up today for Sox University. I read to you the feedback before about someone said that they thought they knew a little bit about cybersecurity, but once they started Sox University and going through the exercise, they're like, okay, maybe I don't really know what I thought I knew. And I really, really appreciate the help that I'm getting from Sox University. So you definitely want to go and jump into Sox University and give it a try. I think I believe you get the first 10 days for free. And then it's it's a nominal charge. It's not that much for the amount of information that you're going to be getting and the amount of experience, access to your own VPN and to your own virtual machine. You can't beat that for $10. Where do you get that for $10 a month? Right. So, and that's the basic, and there's different levels, but, and we'll just, let's just take a quick look at Sox University right now. Right. Let's go to, because I have to support my boy Sox, All right, so Sox University, Ephemeral Networks, level up your skills. You'll be challenged with games, quizzes, and other exercises, all designed to introduce you to cybersecurity. Try the Catch the Flag today and put your skills to learn. So the Cyber Initiate, unskilled, free to $10. I think it's the first 10 days or the first 7 days for free, and then it's $10 a month after that. And then we have the Cyber Craftsman's Beginner. These 2 are available right now. These will be coming in the next few months, but you definitely want to go and check these out and just go through the form, fill out your information, and it's going to, you just walk through the rest, and you will be, and your information is going to be personally set up by a person, and you're going to be emailed the information to get started, how to log in, all of that good stuff. All right. So and we spent the whole past month trying to optimize the process, make sure that there's no gaps and stuff like that. We had a group of beta testers who were amazing. You know what? By the way, thank you to everyone who actually signed up to do beta testing. You are very, very much appreciated.
I appreciate you.
Without you, there are so many things that we wouldn't have been able to catch. So thank you so much for all of those who did beta testing for us. The link to Ephemeral Networks, Sox University is in the chat. So if you are looking to level up and grow, you definitely want to go and check that out. All right. Okay. And that concludes our announcements for today. All right. So we're going to get to work now. So the first thing I want to do before, as we get to work, because to me, we have to get in the right mindset, right? We have to get into the right mindset. So, woosah, all right? And I'm going to read a little passage from a book, right? From one of my favorite books of all time, The Clean Coder, written by Robert C. Martin, all right? So, we're going to read about, time to complete stuff and estimations and stuff like that, okay? So this little passage, the heading of the passage is, the clients never care as much as you do. And it reads, the client, despite their protestations, despite their apparent urgency, never care as much as you do about the app being on time. The afternoon that I dubbed the app completed, I sent an email with the final build to all the stakeholders, executives, hiss, managers, and so on. It is done. Bring you version 1.0. Praise thy name. I had sent, lay back in my chair, and with a smug grin began to fantasize how the company would run me up onto their shoulders and lead a procession down 42nd Street while I was crowned the greatest developer ever.
Ain't believing us. We the best.
Yes, that's how we felt, right? Whenever we deliver and stuff like that, oh my God, we delivered on time, under budget and everything. We are the best, the greatest developer, the greatest team ever. And then it says, at the very least, my face would be on all of their advertising, right? So, funny, they didn't seem to agree. In fact, I wasn't sure what they thought. I heard nothing. Not a peep. You could hear a pin drop. Turns out the folks at Gorilla Mart were eager to and had already moved on to the next thing. And that's how it always goes, right? Like you say, oh, we delivered, we did this, we did that. They're like, okay, cool. We're already looking into this, right? It never stops. You think I lie? Check this out. I pushed to the Apple Store without filling in an app description. I had requested one from Gorilla Mart and they hadn't gotten back to me and there was no time to wait. You got to see the previous paragraphs to understand what's going on here. I wrote them again and again. I got some of our own management on it. Twice I heard back and twice I was told, what did you need again? I need the app description. 1 week later, Apple started testing the app. This is usually a time of joyousness, but it was instead a time for mortal dread. As expected, later in the day, the app was rejected. It was about the saddest, poorest excuse to allow a rejection I can imagine. App is missing an app description. Functionality, perfect. Mwah. No app description. Can you say, right? And for this reason, Gorilla Mart didn't have their app ready for Black Friday. I was pretty upset. I sacrificed my family for a 2-week super sprint, and no one at Gorilla Mart could be bothered to create an app description given a week of time. They gave it to us an hour after the rejection. Apparently, that was the signal to get down to business. So they had to be rejected in order to get down to business, right? Come on, folks. All right, where are we at? So if I was upset before, I would become livid a week and a half after that. You see, they still hadn't gotten us real data. The products and coupons on the server were fake, imaginary. The coupon was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. You know, phony baloney. Baloney is spelled baloney when used in the context, by the way. So they spell baloney different. And it was that fateful morning that I checked the portal and the app was available. Fake data and all, I cried out in abject horror and called up whoever I could and screamed, I need the data. It's kind of like, show me the money, right? I need the data. And the woman on the other end asked me if I needed fire or police. So I hung up on 911. But then I called Gorilla Mart and was like, I need data. And I'll never forget the response. Oh, hey there, John. We have a new VP and we decided not to release. Pull it off the App Store, would you? This story is like very heart-wrenching to me because I've seen this happen so many times. All right. And it says, in the end, it turned out that at least 11 people registered their email address in the database, which meant there were 11 people that could originally walk into a Gorilla Mart with a fake iPhone coupon in tow. Boy, that might get ugly. When all was said and done, the client had said one thing correctly all along. The code was a throwaway. The only problem is it was never released in the first place. That is the story. That is the story, right? And the next section, which we're not going to get into, says results. Rush to complete, slow to market, right? And that's where we're at for today. So the Clean Coder, highly recommended book. All right. But yeah, just to reiterate, the deadlines that they set on you is never the actual deadline. And that's why it's important to have honest estimations, providing accurate, like what's actually possible instead of just saying, oh yeah, of course, or saying, yeah. Say, you need to provide real estimates so that, and don't get bullied. Don't get bullied. Oh yeah, but we needed this day. Hey, this is what it's going to be. If you can't trust my judgment as an expert, as someone in the software industry for X amount of time, and you're trying to force me to do something that I tell you is not possible, then you might need to look for somebody else to do it. And I guarantee you it's not going to be done right. Okay. So just dropping that out there, and we are going to get into our Terraform shortly thereafter. As a heads up, it is raining over here. All right. It's raining over here. So if you hear noise or whatever, and if you see me jump because the lightning comes, and just please don't laugh at me too hard. All right. Don't laugh at me too hard. Okay. Oh my goodness. We have my guy, Mitch, in the building. What's up, Mitch? Mitch says, I just happened to come on. I didn't even get a notification. Anyways, what's going on, bro? That sucks that there was no notification. What can I say? You know, YouTube, it hasn't been the most friendly to me in the past couple of weeks, but we're here and you're here. So welcome. And things are going good. We're just, sharing that little story about, what people say they want to go to market versus what actually happens. And we're about to get into our Terraform stuff. How are you doing, Mitch? How are you doing? Always a pleasure to hang out with you. It's pretty much every day, but Sundays is even that more special because it's Sunday. Sundays are special, okay? Alrighty then. Oh, by the way, Mitch, my bot is I hired a new bot and it's working because I don't know what happened to the other bot. It just totally disappeared on me. But we have a new bot and I'm testing it out. I am testing it out. So here we are. All right, let's get to the next part of the show. And okay, so we're going to be doing, read the passage. We're going to be discussing during our breaks the essentials. It's really of tech, but I'm going to focus in on QA because that's mostly the people that I deal with. And I come across a lot of people who are trying to get into manual QA, which we all know how that's going. But essentials of QA, what you really need to know in QA to be successful in IT, the different strategies and tools that you need to work, right? And it's different from what the information I'm going to be giving tomorrow on Candid Conversation about how to be successful in tech. This one is like the essentials that QA people need to know. So like technically so that they can work properly and get things done the right way, okay? So during our breaks, we're going to be talking about that. I have about 3 different things. We're going to zone in on those and how you can apply those, okay? So before we get started, if you haven't done so already, do me a huge favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live. And if you need, which you know you do, if you need one-on-one coaching as well as access to exclusive content about how you can level up and be successful in tech, then you want to go over to www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can sign up for a Patreon membership. You get access to exclusive videos and live streams, as well as with the higher tiers, you can get one-on-one coaching with me. You choose how much time that you need, and we can work together. You can get plugged in, and you can participate in our Scrum Night, as well as trying to get plugged into different startups where they might have some type of need, whether it's testing or Scrum Master or software engineering, so that you can get that experience that you need. You do not have experience, right? And you need experience, so let me help you get that experience that you need, okay? So that is where we're at. We are going to get started, but first and foremost, like we always do, we need some energy, all right? Let's get some energy.
Please offer me your energy. I ask of you, please.
All right, so we are good to go. Let's jump over to... Let's put up our timer. And let's do our first 20-minute segment.
It's time to do.
And with that being said, we are going to switch over to this screen so we can start reading what we're doing. So last week we created our API keys, created our access list. I set up the billing. I did that after the show. We have Terraform installed. I think I did this already. And we did this already. So we are over here. This is where we're at, right? And let me go ahead and log into MongoDB Atlas as well. Let's see. Let's sign in. All right, let's see what we got going on over here. All right, so we are good to go. And all right, so let's go back to here. We're connected. So creating variables, TF, Terraform, TF vars, and main TF. We will create a variables TF file to declare all Terraform variables as used as part of this exercise, as well, and all which are type string. We'll next define values, i.e. our secrets, for each of these variables in the Terraform TF vars. Note, as with most secrets, best practice is not to upload them. The TFR. Okay, so cool. All right, let's keep looking. So we're gonna do this, and let's see. Create the main var. Create Mongo Atlas project. So we have the project. All right, let me see what I have over here. Okay, so let's start off with this, right? I'm going to create a folder. So let's go over here. We're going to call this database. I'm going to move this file into here. CD database. And we're going to do TF plan inside the folder, your infrastructure matches the configuration because there is no configuration, which is totally fine. All right, so in here, we're going to create a new file. We're going to call that that's going to be variables. All right, and we're going to add that. Variable Atlas org ID. And that's going to be type equals string description. Description is going to be I think it's what we have over here. This is project ID. Let me see. What is our organization ID? Is it just the name? Let me see. Okay, so project. So that says project ID. What's the organization ID? Oh wait. Probably this. All right, so go here. And then we're gonna go to typing on the wrong screen. All right, so here we're gonna say our Atlas project name, and we do variable Atlas project name, type string description. And project name would be Poopy Pat's Quotes. Here we're going to do project environment. I'm not sure what that one's going to be. Variable. String. This one I'm not sure. It says the environment to be built. What's that supposed to be? So let's see if we look over here. Oh, dev and stuff like that. I wonder if there's anything in here. So I'll leave that. Let's do it. I wonder if to do is going to work in here. I guess so. Figure out the all right, and then whenever you're not sure, I just like to drop in a to do. Okay. We have. Just gonna start copying over, save some time. Our cluster name, we'll figure that out. This provider is going to be AWS. The region, it's going to be US East 1, I believe. And let's see what else we got. Mongo version. And my IP address. All right. So we have that set up. And the example, all right, so now, so we had that part set up. Let's look at over, wait a second. Okay, so now, let's look over here. It says, the example below specifies to use the most current MongoDB version as of this writing, which is 6.0, an M10 cluster tier, which is great for a robust development environment and will be deployed on AWS US East, West 2, Atlas region. For specific details about the whole options besides M10 and US West 2, all right. So, trying to remember. All right. So, create an empty directory. Got this. Okay. I wonder if I'm gonna have to move this, but we'll find out. All right. So, creating the variables. Now we create a variable file to declare all Terraform variables used as part of this exercise. And we type string. Next, we'll define values in our secrets for each of these variables in the Terraform tf vars file. So we're gonna go back over here. We are gonna say file tf or Terraform .tf vars. And I'm going to copy this code into here. It should be US East 1. Let me see. Version. So this doesn't really matter because this is just a description. Mm. So this is going to be, and this is going to be name. All right, I'm going to drop that in here. You guys dev, you guys one. I think that's good. GCP or Azure. M0 sandboxes on this one, but I think after we upgrade and get it created, we shall see. All right, so we got that. Let's see, where are we at now? Go back over here. We got this. The next, create main.tf, which we'll use to populate together to create the minimum. Let me zoom in a little bit. Create the minimum required resources to create and access your cluster, a MongoDB Atlas project. Step 8, database user password setup, IP access list, and of course the Mongo Atlas cluster itself. Step 11. We will then walk through how Terraform outputs step 12, so you can access your Atlas cluster and then create a private endpoint and AWS private link. If you are already familiar with any of these steps, feel free to skip ahead. I am not familiar with any of these steps, so we are going to be doing it together one by one, okay? As infrastructure resources get created, modified, or destroyed, several more files will be generated in your directory by Terraform. For example, Terraform TF state. It is best practice not to modify these additional files directly unless you know what you are doing, which we don't. So we're not going to be modifying these files, all right? So step number 8, create MongoDB Atlas project. MongoDB Atlas project helps organize and provides granular access controls to our resources inside our MongoDB Atlas organization. Note, MongoDB Atlas groups and projects are synonymous terms, all right? To create the project using Terraform, we will need the MongoDB Atlas organization ID, which at least the organization project creator will define when we created the MongoDB Atlas provider API keys. To get this information, simply click on settings on the left-hand menu bar in the Atlas UI and click copy icon next to organization ID. You can now paste that into that part of the Terraform TF bars, right? So let's take a quick look. Let's see, settings. All right, so that's the organization ID. Yep, that's what we got. All right, cool. And next up, we got this. Next up in the main TF file, we will use the resources MongoDB Atlas project from Terraform DB Atlas provider to create our project. To do that, you simply put, and then we're going to do here. Okay, so let's go over to here. Get rid of that, right? We're going to say resource. So create a project. Resource MongoDB Atlas project, and then we're gonna say, let's say PPQ Atlas project, and the name is going to be Atlas project name, and we're gonna do org ID. Very simple, straightforward. So now we're gonna create Mongo Atlas username and password to authenticate. All right. Oh my goodness, you guys have. All right. So what I just did was in here I created the inside the Poopy Pants database .tf file, Terraform file. I created a new resource for MongoDB Atlas project, and I named it PPQ Atlas project. And it's so when this resource gets executed, it's going to create the name of the project, and it's going to use the ID under our organization. So before we go to break, let's just do a Terraform plan and see what we come up with. So inconsistent dependency log file, the following dependency selection recorded in the log file are inconsistent. So before we go to break, let's do here, right? So let's do Terraform database provider. Oops. Let's rename the file real quick. All right. And we're going to go to I'm going to take this out. That in here. And we're going to take I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to go off screen to do this part, but I'm just adding the keys right now, but I cannot share those keys with you. So you just got to give me a second. So I'm just setting them up here. And this is going to be default. This is type. No. Description. And now we're going to have type. All right. So now if I go into full screen, and right after that, we're going to go to break, right? We're just going to do the init, and then we're going to go to break. And I'm just putting in the keys in there real quick. All right. So got that set up. Let's go back. Let's close this out. And close it out. Close it out. So let's see if we do a Terraform plan. And okay. So let me see. Fix something real quick. All right, let me regen. This Terraform showed something that I didn't want it to show, so we're gonna fix that real quick. Where are we? Okay, so we're gonna go here. Projects here. I'm just gonna regen the key because it got messed up. Where? All right, there we go. There we go. We'll leave it for now. So let's do, before we go to break, let's go here and let's do Terraform plan and Terraform int. All right, so let's do another Terraform plan. And it would create our Mongo project. All right, cool. So that is what we wanted to see. We're not going to apply it yet. We don't want to create anything yet. Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll actually do the applying and seeing it get created and stuff like that. So that's the plan. All right, cool. So we are at break. And what I wanted to talk about in our first break was the essentials. What I think is my top, I mean, I don't know if I would put them in any particular position, but I want to talk about what I like, an essential that you need for QA as well as for IT in general. But, I talk to a lot of QA people, and this is like whether you are a manual tester or an automation tester, specifically if you're a manual tester, right? This is what you're going to need, right? So let's put up our 5-minute break on the clock. Okay, so if you are a QA tester, all right, let me see. Can I find this thing real quick? Hold on. Oh, let me see. Can I find this thing? Let's see if we could set this up real quick. Let's see. We are building it as we fly. All right. So if we go to I don't think I'll be able to do this. Let me see. We'll get it for next time. But so if you are in QA, right, especially a manual tester, here is a key thing that you are going to need, right? You're going to need to know how to check out code, right? You're going to need to get familiar with Git. But, I'm a manual tester. I don't do automation. I don't know code. Doesn't matter. You are going to need to be able to test these different, the different software applications locally. So that means you need to know how to check out the code, how to switch to the branch, right? And how to start up the application. A lot of times, like there are times, like I remember I did a lot of testing locally, right? Even if you're going to be running automated tests, right? Let's say you're not writing the test, but you're running it. You're going to need to know how to do that locally. So you're going to have to check out the code and have the proper configuration. So that means you clone the branch, right? Then you check out a branch, and then you know how to actually start the application. Very, very important, because although you say, but I'm only a manual tester, right? Fair. But you still need to know how to get to the information of what you're going to be testing. So my number one that you need to get familiar with is with Git, right? And then once you get familiar with Git, like that means like knowing the different commands, then you can start getting more specific to what your organization uses, whether it's Bitbucket, GitLab, or GitHub, right? But you need to be able to actually utilize the tools that you need to be able to get to the software that you're going to be testing. Not all organizations can always make the software available online, right? Because it costs a lot of money to like set up these testing environments. So if you're able to get and you might not have an environment for every single branch of development. So let's say there's like 3 developers, right? One developer is working on one branch, another developer is working on another branch, and then the third developer is a totally separate branch, right? You like, as nice it would be to be, I'm just testing it in dev.whateverwebsite.com, right? It's not always possible because having those different environments are expensive, and you might have the dev branches what goes right before you go to production. But how do you test the different features that are being worked on? So a lot of times you need to actually be able to pull it in the branch and get it started. And another thing with that, you like Docker is really close to that, because you might be able to pull the branch in, but let's say you're running containers to deploy your application, you would need to know how to get it started up in Docker. And usually the developers will have a really good instructions and README file to get going with that. But you still, like, whether you're starting it up, let's say it's a Node app, right? And you're just starting up the Node app like regularly, or you're starting it up through Docker, you still need to know how to actually get the code and how to actually switch to that branch that it's on and how to actually start it up, right? Very, very important that you get familiar with checking out code. Even if you're not contributing to the writing of whatever the code is, to automation tests, whatever, it is essential. I repeat, it is essential that you know how to actually get a copy of the code, clone the code, and then you actually are able to use that to switch to the branch and to start up. Shout out to the newest subscriber. Shout out to you. Let me see who that is. Who is that who just subscribed to the channel? I definitely appreciate you. That is Jubar. Hope I'm saying that right. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, but shout out to you. Welcome to the Tech Coach Ralph channel. All right, to finish up, right? I'm saying you got to get really, really familiar with checking out code, knowing how to test locally. Testing locally is so essential because, like, I have so many different repos on my computer.
Move on, back to work, chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
That was slightly rude, but anyways, right? It is so important to know, and you can easily, I repeat, you can easily get familiar with this, right? How do you do that? So, Tech Coach, how do I get familiar with checking out code? Well, there are millions of repos that are public on GitHub. I have some public repos on my GitHub. Just go, you check, you just do git clone, and it's going to make a copy, and then you say git branch. You see what branches are available. You can switch to that branch, or you can check out a new branch, right? You can create a new branch, or you can check out an existing branch, right? So what we can do, just real quick, right? Because as we wrap this up, I want to show you how quick and easy it is to get a branch, all right? I'm going to go to my GitHub, right? Actually, let me not go to my GitHub because I have stuff that you probably shouldn't be sharing with you on my GitHub. But let's go to Chaos Camp GitHub, right? Chaos Camp GitHub. It's probably stuff you shouldn't see there either, but whatever. Let's see. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's use mine. Now that I can filter on the visibility, let's use mine, right? Repositories. Can I see that? All right, there we go. All right, so there goes my public repos, right? Let's go over to. So here we are. So here we are. We have 12 public repos in my GitHub, right? And I can drop this link in the chat for you as well, where you can access my GitHub and just check out any one of these repos, right? Just check out any one of these repos. And if we scroll down, let's say we go to, let's go to this one, right? This is from like almost a year ago when we were doing the M3U8 parser, and which I'm going to mention later, right? So there goes the M3U8 parser, and all you have to do, right? Go to code right here, and you do copy URL, right? And now you go like, you gotta make sure you have Git installed on your computer, right? I'm not gonna go walk through that. Maybe I'll make a short video if you need help installing Git, but you need to do that. It's tons of videos on YouTube that shows you how to do that. That's why I don't want to waste my time doing that. Time is important, right? But then you take that and then you go into your terminal, and I guess we could do it, right? Let's say we go here, and let's see, we get a folder. All right, so let's do this. And can I zoom in? Okay, so let's go here. And if I do just git clone, it's gonna make a copy, right? I'm gonna go cd into M3U8 parser, and say clear, we do git branch. And there's only one branch, right? But let's say I wanted to create a new branch, or let's say I want to check out a new branch. So git checkout -b, and I give the name sample branch. Now it's going to check out. Now it's checking out the sample branch, which I just created because there was only one branch, right? And now you can start testing, starting it up, whatever it is that you need to do. There's so many different ways that you can start up an application locally that we're not going to talk about that. But I just want to show you like one of the most important parts in your journey as a QA tester, manual or any other. And I mean, every single person in tech uses Git, but honing in on the testers, the QA professionals, you need to know how to switch different branches, because you might be working with 4 different developers, right? And they're all working on a separate branch. You need to be able to easily switch between the branches and be able to test those, right? Sometimes simultaneously, right? So like you just finish on one, now you go and you check out the other branch and you continue to test. That's what we do, okay? So that being said, now let's say we go back to the main branch, right? And you just want to create another branch, right? But you don't want to check it out yet. So git branch, and then what is it? I think yeah, just git branch, and then you give it a name, sample branch 2. And now we do git branch again. And now we have sample branch 2 if you want to check it out. And now you are on the sample branch 2. Right? Where the little asterisk here shows that we are on sample branch 2. There's like other git commands, but that like, if you are actually checking in code and stuff like that, that is very important to learn. But that's like, this is like the starting point for anyone who is either doing manual or automation testing, where you need to actually be able to get a copy of the code, to be able to start up the application so you can actually be able to test, right? And even with automation, right? You will need, like, let's say you're writing automated code and you're testing it locally, you're going to need to actually start up the application locally. And then once the application is started, then you can actually run your automated test. So it all plays in together. All of this is super, super valuable. So I hope that brings some type of understanding and meaning and everything like that. But you definitely want to get familiar with being able to check out code, whether it's from GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, wherever the code is stored, whatever repository it's in, you want to get familiar with that. All right. So throwing that out there, you definitely want to get more familiar. Okay. So that was my first tip of what you really, really need to get familiar, to be an amazing QA tester, amazing QA engineer. Right. So Mitch asked, before we get back to work, Mitch asked a question. Are you still 6 days a week in the summer? For live, to go live? So I have to figure out what's happening on Fridays, right? Because on Friday morning, I have something to do on Friday mornings now, which I want to, like, don't have to do it, but I want to do it. So I probably, if I go live on Fridays, it'll be probably at night. I don't know yet. I'll see, but it'll still be like every nothing else changes. It'll still be 5 there, at least 5 days, and maybe some Saturdays too. So yeah, shouldn't change anything. Like, the schedule is a schedule. It's all about consistency and putting in the work. For me, this is another job for me. Things don't change. So I will be here. I will be here with anyone else who wants to be here. So, we're just going to do what we do. We're going to rock out. We're going to have some fun. We're going to learn. And, we're going to have some fun. That's what we do. That's what you know how we do it here, Mitch. You know how we do it. All right. So let's get ready for our next segment. Okay. So we are here. We don't need this anymore. But yes, I do want to continue doing 6. Sometimes 7, but I do want to continue doing 6. But Fridays are going to be a little weird. If I do end up going live, it'll probably be late, which I don't know. Maybe we might just stick with 5 until I figure something else out, or we might just do a Saturday. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We always figure it out, right? So let's put up our next 20-minute segment on the clock.
Let's go! Let's go!
And we are. So we needed our project name. Okay, let me make sure I have the project name. I have the project name. Let's go to settings. Okay, got the project name. Let's see. Variables, TF bar. Got all the settings down. Change the API key later. Okay, cool. So let's get to our next step here. So let's go over to this. So we have the project code created. We haven't actually created the project yet. So create. I wonder if we could start off with this. So let's see. Let's get it started. Right. So let's go over here. We're gonna do a Terraform plan. We have our plan. Let's do Terraform apply. Let's see if it's actually gonna get created. Okay. And we have our first failure. So the currently logged in user does not have the group creator role in organization. All right, so let's see. Creator role. So I guess we have to do that part manually. Let's see. All right. So let's go over here. Oops, not that one. Let's go over here and let's search for creator. So we are where are we? So we're here. We did create API key, enter description. Both organization owner and organization project creator roles will provide access to complete this task. But by using the principle of least privilege, let's select organization project creator role in the drop down menu next, and click next. So let me go here, access manager. Mm, thought I had an API key already. Let's see, project. Let me see. Enter description for the API key. Oh, okay. So we have to create. All right, so let's create the API key. I'm gonna go off of screen in just a second so that Terraform API key. And we're gonna go here. We're gonna say this is gonna be the project. I don't see project creator though. Let me see. Organization project creator. See project owner. So it says, all right, project owner has full administration access. Can project data admin, project data. Hmm. I wonder if this is outdated because I don't see the project. Select organization project creator. Oh, this is under the organization, not under the project. Okay, so cool. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back to the actual organization. And let's go to Access Manager. And this is going to be here. Let's keep that like that. And let's go to here. See, okay, so this is right here, organization creator. So that's where the problem is right here. So let's go to edit permissions. And this should be, there we go. And let's say that. I'm going to go off screen real quick just to check something or not share the screen real quick. And let's go next. Actually, it's going to create a new API key, to be honest with you. So create API key. And we're going to say, copy that over. And, being able to secure your stuff, it is super, super important. And that is why like every time I end up showing the key, I have to go back and fix it. Because as much as we talk about cybersecurity, I can't let SOC see me making these type of mistakes, so I always have to fix it right away because I ain't trying to have the bill run up on me. Nope. No. All right, cool. So we have that. Go back over here. And let's close that. All right, cool, perfect. And then we clear that out. And I think I need to do one more thing. Where's the last thing I need to do? So I can share this part too. So I think we need to export it, right? So, oh wait, one more thing. Let's see here. Add access list, use current IP, save. Done. And let's get rid of the first one. Perfect. And now we can go back over here. All right, cool. So we did this. We set up the building already. Defining, we got this. We need to do this actually. So let me do this on the other screen. Public key. And let's do the private key. All right, cool. So we got that part taken care of. Let's see. Next, create an empty directory with we did this. We did all of this already. Sorry, we are up to here. We did this. You're saying we don't need that. Okay, so I can always come back and take that out. All right, so now let's try to go back to over here. And let's try another Terraform apply or Terraform plan. Configure. Oh, CD Terraform database. All right, so let's try another Terraform apply. Yes, we got group already exists. A group with a name Poopy Pant Quotes already exists. Okay, so let's go with all right, cool. Gonna have to.
Thank you for your patronage.
Wrong button. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I wonder if I take this out. I don't need that. So if we were to actually change right now, we do Terraform apply. Are you kidding me? Okay, stop that. I guess I will need to do that there. So Stop that. And one more time to full screen. And we're going to go here. Oops. Okay, so I might not even need that. Hold on one second. So let's see if we do this. And we go here. Where do we set up the provider? Provider. Oh, so they didn't even put it in here. Let's see if I take this out. What happens? All right. Let's see if it's gonna pull up from our local stuff. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's do Terraform apply. Let's see. Oh, okay. I know what I did wrong because I stopped something. Okay, so all right. Still asking for it. All right, cool. Just wanted to check something out here. Let's go here, and all right. So now let's go to. I'm just gonna undo some stuff real quick. Undo this one, and last time on full screen. Oops. Wrong file. Okay. Let's go with that. All right, let's try it one more time. All right. All right, let's try that now. All right, so it's going to create a project name, Poopy Pants Quotes Database with this org ID. All this stuff are going to be known after we do it. All right, let's find out what happens. All right, so it says one resource added. So now if we go over to, so it says one resource added over here, all right? If we go over to our projects, should we go here, it should have the one that we just added, right? Let's see. Let's see if we refresh. There we go. Nice, nice. So we got our very first success with Terraform implementing the database. So shout out to us. All right, next up, we are going, so we did this already, did this, create MongoDB Atlas project. All right, we just did this. So now we have to create the username and password, all right? To authenticate with a client to MongoDB, like the MongoDB shell or your application code using a MongoDB driver, especially supported by Python, Node.js, Go, Java. Okay, cool. You must add a corresponding database user to your MongoDB Atlas project. See the documentation for more information on available user roles so you can customize the user's role-based access control as your team needs. So it's only going to be me as a user right now. Maybe one of the tech barbarians. So let's see. So for now, simply input the following code as part of the next few lines as the main.tf file to create a database user with a random 16 character password. This will use the resource MongoDB Atlas database user from the Terraform MongoDB Atlas provider. The database user's underscore password is a sensitive secret. So to access it, you will need to input the Terraform output JSON user password command in your terminal window after our deployment is complete. So creating a resource for random password. So the same, like, all right, so we're going to have to say Terraform output JSON user password. Okay, cool. So let's get to it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to type this out manually so we can get more familiar with it. All right. I'm going to go to the other screen and I'm going to type in what I'm seeing over here. All right. So create a database user. I can probably put this in a separate file, to be honest with you, but we'll do it here for now and then we can refactor. Resource MongoDB Atlas database user. And we're going to say DB. Let's go with user. Project ID. So that's going to be Mongo Atlas project dot DBQ Atlas project dot ID. And we're going to say DBQ user 1. Password. In order to do the password, we need to do the random password
Lunch break.
first.
Lunch break.
So let's finish this one real quick and then we'll go to break. All right. So we need to do create random DB password. So resource random password and PBQ DB user password length. Let's say 16. Let's go with what they have. Special true. I guess that's for special characters. And then wait, what? Where did all true come from? True. Override special, and then we do underscore. So I guess those are not going to be part of the password. And here we're going to go to random password dot DBQ password / result. All right, cool. And then we are going to do got the user, got the password, got the project ID. So auth database name would be admin, and then roles, role name, read, write, database name, bar.atlas project name -db. I wonder if that's going to work if I have spaces in my database name. Or in my project name. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just change. It's going to change the database name. Let's go and do that real quick. Well, let's leave it. Let's leave it as is for now, and then we'll see we'll see what happens after that because it might be a disaster, but we can always change the name, I suppose. Right? So we'll find out. All right. Anyways, we can go to break and then we can apply it when we come back. All right. We can apply it when we come back. So the next topic of discussion for our essentials is, let's see. What was I? All right. So, all right. So this is all right. So put our 5 minutes up, right? The second thing that is essential for QA, right? Very, very important. And it's essential for everyone in tech, but I think QA plays a big responsibility and a big role in this, right? You ask, what is this? What is this craziness you speak of? Okay. It is super, super important that whatever your role is, but it's specifically for QA, you think past the requirements, right? Mitch knows about my pet peeves. This is another one of my pet peeves, right? I'll be reading like on Reddit and stuff like that where QAs are talking about, oh, what happens if you disagree with the product owner or something like that? Which honestly, when I get that question, whether it's like an interview or I'm reading it on Reddit or someone asks me, I'm like, I never let the disagreements that I have with anyone when we're building software be personal, right? We are all working towards the greater good of the software to provide value and service to our customers, to our stakeholders, to our company, right? So I don't take anything personal. I take it as, okay, I made my suggestion. I gave my reason for it. And if it's something that we don't go with right now, we can always revisit it in the future if the need comes up. It's not about me being right, or it's not about the product owner being wrong or anything like that. It's more about, okay, what can we do together to be successful? So now that goes into the tip, right? You have to think more than just what the requirements are, because so many QA people that I see, when they ask a question, okay, what if you disagree? It's like, well, what does the requirement say? What does the requirement say? What does the requirement say? Right? Well, you're not like humans are not robots to say that, well, I'm just going to follow the requirements. I'm just going to follow the requirements. I can see the requirements as like, well, did you guys think about this when you were writing the requirements? Why are you not part of the requirements, right? I'm always bringing my insight, and that's why I say it's super, super important that you participate, like for QA, to participate as early as possible throughout the software development lifecycle. Your role is critical in the what is that meeting called? The refinements, in the story refinements, right? When you're collaborating with the developers, with the product owner / manager, with the scrum master, whoever's in there, right? And sometimes like it might be a security related story, so maybe a cybersecurity professional is going to be in the meeting too. But you're always listening with the inquisitive mindset, like, okay, but what about this and what about that? And that's going to play into tomorrow's topic about how to be successful in tech. But you're asking the questions about, hey, what's going on here? What's going on there? Could this be a problem, right? Could are we able to do this, right? Thinking like you have to be part of defining the requirements, and not just because a lot of times people in IT, they'll just throw everything on the product owner to just write the stories, and whatever the product owner says, that's what we're going to follow. And I think that's why you end up having conflict with the product owners, is because you do not participate. You just come in after the fact, and you're trying to bash with the things that they're doing, when you can be teammates, right? And sometimes you'll have some heated discussion about. But it's passionate discussion about what is the best way to approach building this application, this product, so that our customers can be satisfied. It's not about, a lot of times it's ego driven, where it's like, I think it should be like this and I think it should be like that. Well, I want to get the recognition. No, it's not going to work that way, right? You need to think way past what the requirements say, what are listed in the requirements, so that we can all be successful together. And you're giving your insight, and that's from the very, very beginning. You don't just wait till the story is written, and then you get the acceptance criteria. You're like, okay, check. oh, this thing doesn't work. Oh, but the product owner says this and the developer say that. And now, okay, fine. See, and that's why a lot of times people in QA feel undervalued. You know why you feel undervalued in QA? This come close, right? This is why you feel undervalued in QA, right? The reason you feel undervalued in QA is because you don't look to provide value. You just look to do exactly what your job is. And it's like, okay, cool, you did your job. Congratulations, right? You did your job, right? But if you are looking to add value in all aspects of the software development lifecycle, then, and only then, that your voice is going to be heard and taken seriously. And then
back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
And then you're gonna have the amazing people in like project management and things like that, like Mitch, the people like Mitch, who are going to be like value your insight and look to you for advice and guidance and stuff like that, right? And they're gonna say, hey, like I was thinking about, like I was using the product and this happened, and I was wondering, what do you think about this, right? Instead of saying, I want this is what you need to do, they're gonna ask you for insight and your opinion. And that's when you're starting to add more and more value. So you're not just like sitting like a robot, because guess what? If you're going to sit like a robot, I'm just going to automate your job and you're out of there, right? We need your mind. We need your critical thinking. We need you to think past the requirements, right? And say, oh, I was using this and I thought about this. What do you think about that, right? So I say, hey, Mitch, I was doing this. And what do you think about that? Oh yeah, I think that would be a cool feature for our customers or our clients. Cool. I'm gonna create the story as the QA person. I'm gonna create the story and put it on the backlog, and we're gonna discuss it. It doesn't mean that we're gonna do it, but we're gonna discuss it and say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Product Manager, owner, what do you think about this? Do you think it would add value? Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, cool, no problem. We can table it. We can talk about it. If the need does come up later, then we can revisit it. But it's all about collaboration. It's thinking past, like I said, thinking past the requirements. And when you do that, then you are essential to the team. And they won't bring me in, right? They won't bring me in, a tech mercenary. If you want to become a tech mercenary, join the YouTube channel, just shameless plug. They're not going to bring me in to automate. If you're acting like a robot, I will treat you like a robot, and then your job is going to get automated, and then I will be doing that thinking that you should have been doing from the very beginning of the project, right? Don't let me come and be a tech mercenary to you, okay? Just saying, all right? And we got breaking news in the chat. All right? Mitch says, FYI, I just got promoted to the data side. See, here on this channel, I love to celebrate my friends, all right?
I mean, all we do is win, man. You know that.
And this is what Mitch just said silently, right? This is what he just said. He just said this silently.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Mitch just said the price of the brick is going up. I love that. Take a bow, Mitch. Take a bow. Super proud of you. I want to hear more about it. Right? But congratulations to you, Mitch. Promoted to the data side, all right? Okay, all right. Let's get into our last segment of the day before we wrap it up. But, we are doing some great things. Very, very happy to see all of that. Yeah, I remember you mentioned something about that the other day. I do remember you mentioned something about that. I have so many things going on. I have to write them down. I have to go read the chats over again. But yeah, that's awesome, man. So proud of you, as always. Always. Love to see my friends win. All right? So, all right, let's get to, where are we at? Let's get to our article. Not article, but our tutorial. And let's put up our last 20 minutes.
It's time to do.
I say it's the last, but you never know. I might end up doing a whole another 20 minutes after this one because we're having so much fun. But I think it's we'll see. We shall see. All right, let's go to, I have a little bit of time. We are ahead of schedule, But even though we're ahead of schedule, just like we're reading in the passage, sometimes nobody really cares. You work so hard to get everything done in time, and they're like, cool. All right, whatever. But we're gonna win regardless. We don't do it for them, we do it for ourselves, okay? So let's go over here. Step 10, create IP access list. Okay, so we did this. Now we're gonna do here. Next, we will create the IP access list by inputting the following into your main.tf. Be sure to look up the IP address or CIDR range of the machine where you'll be connecting to your MongoDB Atlas cluster from and paste it into the Terraform TF bars. I think what's going to happen as well is we're going to have to get the IPs of our what do you call it? Where our application is going to be connecting from in AWS. We might have to get those IPs as well. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? So let's create our IP access list, right? Let's go to we say and resource MongoDB Atlas project IP access list. That's going to be called IP. Oops. And the project ID is going to be our MongoDB Atlas project .ID. And we're going to say IP address is var.ip address. And that's our local IP address. Cool. Next up, we are going to create the MongoDB Atlas cluster. And thank you, my newest hiree, Nightbot, for sharing this information in the chat. I'm not sure what happened to Stream Elements. It kind of died on me. But, I read something that said if you were to no longer be with us, your job would be posting your position within 48 hours. So I gave the Stream Element bot way longer than 48 hours before I posted his job. So it never came back. It was a no call, no show for like weeks, and then I went and found a new bot to hire. So you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, so we are creating we're over here. Create MongoDB Atlas cluster, right? So we will now use the MongoDB Advanced Cluster resource to create a MongoDB Atlas cluster. With this resource, you can not only create a deployment, but you can manage its overall lifecycle, scaling, compute, and storage independently, enabling cloud backups and creating analytics nodes, right? In this example, we create 3 database servers together to create a replica set with a primary server and 2 secondary replicas, duplicating the primary's data. Okay, that's a little bit more than we need for this, but that's fine. This architecture is primarily designed with high availability in mind and can automatically handle failover if one of the servers goes down, and recover automatically when it comes back online. We call all these nodes electable because an election is held between them to work out which one is primary. Okay, it sounds like these databases are very, very friendly towards each other. So shout out to them working together. These robots and databases work so much better than our real humans in Washington, D.C. do. So shout out to the MongoDBs who are able to figure it out. All right, we will also set optional backup flag enabled to true. This provides increased data resiliency by enabling localized backup storage using the native snapshot functionality of the cluster's cloud provider. See documentation. All right, cool. Lastly, we create one analytics node. Analytics nodes are read-only nodes that can exclusively be used to execute database queries on. That means that this analytics workload is isolated to the node only, so operation performance isn't impacted. This makes analytic nodes ideal to run longer and more computationally intensive analytics queries on without impacting your replica performance. Okie dokie. So that's a lot of information. Don't know what most of it means, but let's just get going and we'll figure it out as we get there, okay? All right. So this is this is a lot to type, but let's do it. We're gonna type it out, right? We have time. We're gonna type it out because typing it out, I believe when you type it out, it starts to ingrain into your mind and we get a better understanding of what we're working on. All right. So create an Atlas advanced cluster resource. MongoDB Atlas advanced cluster. And we're going to call that PPQ Atlas advanced cluster. Simple enough. Cluster type. We're going to say replica. And I'm going to see how much this costs. If it costs a lot of money, I'm just going to change it to a regular one server because it's not that serious, right? We're not running some major application thing. Name. I already don't think the name that I have is good. Whoa, where'd that come from? Here we say var.environment and then cluster. Project ID is going to be Mongo project dot ID. See, and how we're starting to I'm starting to figure it. Oh my God. So you didn't see it. So what I did was I started doing this. Didn't share the screen. All right. So started doing this. We have the replica set. So the cluster type is replica set. We have the name dash environment dash cluster, and then we have the ID. I hate when I forget to switch screens. All right, and then we have backup enabled, true. Oh my goodness. We have MongoDB major version, var.mongodb version. We have replication specs, right? And then inside of the replication specs, we're going to have region configs. And then inside of that, we have electable specs, instance size, var.cluster instance size name, and we have we can start this up and then we're going to shut it down because I think we want to be using the serverless technology, and this like is actually creating servers to run Mongo on, which is not necessarily what we want, but at least learning how to create the Mongo via Atlas through Terraform is still going to be very useful for us. All right. All right. So we have this. And this all goes under. All right. So we have this. And then we're going to go here. We're going to say analytics specs. And we're going to say, oh, you need a node count. 3. And this one is going to be var.cluster size name and then node count 1. All right. And then priority 7. Provider name var.cloud provider. Region name var.atlas region. Okay, and we're done with that part. All right. The next thing we're going to do is step 12, create Terraform outputs. We're gonna need the connection string, and we're gonna use that 3T software to try to connect to the database after we create it. Okay. So let's do the outputs. Output Atlas cluster connection string. And we're going to do value Mongo Atlas advanced cluster dot cluster dot connection strings dot 0 dot standard server. All right, we got that one outputted. The next one is going to be output IP access list. And we're going to say value. And that's going to be MongoDB Atlas. All right, we got that one. And then we're going to say this one is good. Oops. Output. One should just be simple with project name, and then the user. So the username is what we're going to be using to connect to the database. So it's going to be value equals Mongo. I think it's going to be database user dot db user dot username. And then lastly, we're going to have our password, which I'll end up changing this password anyways. And we're going to say sensitive is true. And value is Mongo Atlas database user dot user dot password. Cool. And now we go to this step. It says set up a private endpoint to your MongoDB Atlas cluster. Increasingly, we see customers want their data to traverse only private networks. One of the best ways to connect to Atlas over a private network from AWS is to use AWS Private Link, which establishes a one-way connection that preserves your perceived network trust boundary while eliminating additional security controls associated with other options like VPC, peering, Azure Private Link. Okay. I don't think we need to do that for now, right? I don't think this is really necessary right now for what we're doing. And especially we're going to get rid of this stuff anyways. This is like helping you set up AWS as well. So that's not necessary right now. But let's go ahead and let's try to set this up, all right? All right, whatever. We'll just do the see. All right, let's do it. Wait a second. What? Inconsistent dependency lock. What happened? Yeah, by the way, I'm gonna change this name actually. Let me go to full screen real quick. All right. Let me close that. Okay. So let's go back over here. I guess something changed. Let's do Terraform and it. All right. Let's do Terraform. Terraform plan. I think that error comes in when we when we stop the run, like Control Z it. But it's all good. All right. So one change. The change is gonna be the name of the project, and we're gonna have a password. We're gonna have a username, and the IP access list, and the connection string. So we'll be looking for the connection string and a potential username. All right. So let's do Terraform. Apply. Let's see if we get that stupid error. Yep. Terraform. Apply. Lock equals false. And we say yes. Invalid enum. Yeah. So error creating MongoDB cluster advanced. Invalid enum. An invalid enumeration value MO sandbox was specified. All right. So let me see what let me go see what they had it as theirs. And in the guide, they had it as M10. So, all right, cool. Let's go. I have to edit this file. Let's go to here. Just say this is M10. Actually, let's go M0. Okay, let's close this file down. Let's go back over here. M0 is invalid. So I guess we'll try M10 then. Let's try with M10. Okay, an invalid MongoDB major version was specified. Oh, major version. Okay, that's my bad. My bad. I put the whole entire version. We just need the major version. So let's go ahead and specify that. Okay. It's not erroring right away. So that's a good sign. That is a good sign, I must say. I
Lunch break! Lunch break!
think we have time for one more segment. So let's wait for this to actually no. While this is happening, we can go to break and then we can come back and see how the results were. And then we can we'll do one more segment. Maybe we can finish this out today. I don't know yet. Yeah. So do me a favor. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live. And if you need additional insight and help into getting into tech, into leveling up, if let's say you're already working in tech, but you're not getting to the next level, check me out at www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can sign up for exclusive content, exclusive live streams. You can message me whatever questions that you have, and you can participate as well as signing up for one-on-one coaching where we will level up together and I can help you get to the next step. All right. So do me a favor, do that for me. And you can even sign up for free on the Patreon, right? Whatever it is that you want, and we can figure it out together. Okay. Alrighty then. Let's see here. Let's see. All right, let's get to it. I think we have one last thing to talk about for essentials, what I deem as the essentials for QA, right? Let's put our 5 minutes up on the clock. Now, I don't know how you're going to feel about this one, right? But I think it is extremely, I repeat, extremely essential that you will always and you continue to research new technologies, new resources, new information, new libraries, new packages, right? But, I'm just a manual QA tester and I'm just going to wait until the test cases are written, or I'm going to write the test cases. And then once the developers say that it's ready for me to test, I'm just going to go execute my test cases to a T. And I'm going to hope that I find tons and tons of bugs and all of that, right? While it is great to find bugs, I personally am not of the camp of, you get paid per bug and like, oh my God, I found this bug. Yay, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. I'm not of that camp, right? I don't think you should be rewarded for finding bugs. I think if you find a valid bug, that's a good thing. But I think as a QA engineer, as a QA tester, QA professional, whatever role it is that you have in QA, I think that it is a failure. It's a failure to find many bugs when testing, right? Of course, you're like, there's always going to be bugs in software, right? I mean, I can't even tell you how many bugs that we've allowed to live in production because they're not really affecting anything. And we might get to them at some day, but they're not critical, right? But there will always be bugs in production. And there's always going to be bugs in the software, right? Now, it's the severity of the bugs that matter. And I don't think let's say you find a comma is missing or something, right? And you're like, oh my God, I found a bug. Yeah. I honestly don't care, right? I would prefer us preventing bugs from going into production and bugs from actually even going into development, right? What do I mean by that? We want to have conversations with our developers so that they can already be inside of our mind, right? They need to be inside of our mind so they can see, okay, what is Tech Coach Ralph thinking when he is going to be approaching this? And I want to be in the mind of the developer as well. Like, what is Mr. Developer A thinking when he is going to be implementing the software so we can be on the same page, so we can be in sync, so we can have synergy, right? We want to be on the same page. And that way we can prevent finding bugs. And I don't have to be like, and I can have confidence, right? I can have confidence in my developers to know that they know what I'm thinking. I know what they're thinking, and I don't have to be too worried, right? There's going to be some bugs that we would have never anticipated. We're going to catch it. We're going to fix it. Great. No problem, right? But basic stuff, we want to be on the same page. And I think the way that happens is you have to be open to figuring out new things. You have to be able to go, you have a problem, you have a need, and you have to say, okay, how can I figure this out? How can I fix it? What type of tools are out there that we can implement into our testing processes, into our development processes, that we have these checks in place. So let's say, for instance, right, we have a good suite of regression tests that anyone can use. Developers can run it, QA can run it, whoever, right? So now developers are finished. They finished their work. They have their unit tests written, and everything is looking beautiful, right? And they say, okay, you know what? Before I tell QA it's ready for testing, let me run the regression test to make sure nothing else broke, right? So they go and they click on the little button to run the regression test, and they say, okay, we have an issue here. Let me go investigate that real quick. Okay, we got it fixed, right? I don't want QA to find bugs, especially like things that were existing that no longer work. I don't want that to happen. And I think that it is a driving force and factor of QA to instill that mentality, and to do that as well, you need to be able to find the right tools to do that, to have everyone on the same page, so that quality can be a key topic, a key concern. I don't want you to have the mentality of, I have to find bugs. I have to find bugs. No, the new mentality, the new QA, right, is I want to prevent bugs. I want to prevent them. It's like, here's a question, right? Mitch, back me up on this if you can, right? Would you rather have roaches in your house that you have to catch and kill, or do the preventative maintenance of not allowing the roaches in the house in the first place? That's how I see it, right?
Move on, back to work, chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on.
I was on a roll.
Back to work.
I was on a roll here. Okay. Anyways, I think the preventative maintenance is so much more important, that you can work closely together with your developers, with your product owner, with your scrum master, with the security team, with your DevOps, and you say, okay, this is the strategy that we're going to approach. And that's why sprint planning is so important, right? This is the strategy that we're going to approach, so that we do not let the roaches, think of a bug as a roach, right? So that means if you are excited to find a bunch of bugs, that means you are excited to grasp a bunch of roaches in your hand, and they're just crawling all around. They're alive, and it's so disgusting. It is utterly disgusting. And that's how I see when we get excited to find bugs, it's disgusting, right? We need to do the preventative work to say that, hey, I am not the type of QA person who wants to go and, remember David Goggins said he quit his job when he hit the jackpot, and he used to like spray for roaches and stuff, and then he hit the mother lode when there were roaches everywhere, right? Everywhere. So we want to do preventive maintenance, right? We don't want bugs to be running rampant. We don't want them crawling all over us, right? Totally disgusting, okay? And just to add a little bit of context, I'll give you an example, right? So like I said, I work in the video streaming industry, and one of the things that, like, we went through, right? Manifest M3U8 files for streaming. When I started with the company, and I said, there has to be a way that we can capture these manifest and validate the content of them to make sure that they're in the right format, so that we can easily test them, that we don't have any issues, right? And I thought to myself, well, I remember in Python we have Beautiful Soup. It's a library that it parses XML and HTML. And one of the software engineers, I think it was the lead software engineer, said to me, yeah, but I think Beautiful Soup parses HTML and XML. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. So guess what I did, right? This is what I did. I went on Google and I searched M3U8 parser. Like, M3U8 parser, Python, boom. Just poof, right there in front of me. I get the library for M3U8 parser. I said, let me read through this, right? And I started breaking it down. I said, let me try this out, right? And I tried it out, and I said, okay, let me pass this manifest file that we have and try it out. Did some live streams about it, and all of a sudden, magic. We're able to validate a bunch of information through automation using the M3U8 parser. And guess what? If I wasn't an automation engineer, I could at least find the information and provide it to an automation engineer and say, hey, can we try this out? Would this be in our best interest so that we can actually add more testing and more validation? Would that be possible? So, right? Now we have the M3U8 parser embedded across all of our tests, from API tests to end-to-end tests and everything like that, to make sure that our videos are are rightly formatted and that they're actually playable, right? And that's what I mean by you have to always be looking, always investigating, always thinking, critical thinking skills. and how you are going to expand and you're going to add value. I always talk about, like, if there's anything you take from this, from my channel, from my team, from my coaching, whatever it is, how do I add value to my team? When you can consistently add value, they will love you forever. They'll be loyal to you forever. Okay. So take that for what it's worth. Let me make sure there was no other points I wanted to touch on that before we, and that's part of, like, I call it filling in the gaps, right? See where there's a need and solve for that need. So there's needs in manual testing, there's needs in automation testing, there's needs in researching new technologies and stuff like that. Like the example I just gave you, the M3U8, so many other things that there is that you can implement and that you can add value. Filling in the gaps is how you are going to add value to the people that you work with, and they are going to appreciate you forever. Okay. So just throwing that out there. That's it. Hopefully those 3 key things of the essentials of being like the essentials for QA, but it's for IT in general, but the essentials for QA, right? I call those the essentials for QA, the things you need to focus on, the things you need to be adamant about, right? And you know what? I'll give a quick recap at the end of the show, but we're going to go for one more 20-minute segment and then we're going to be done for today. All right. So let's read Mitch's comment real quick before we get to the last segment. Mitch says, I want those roaches. Mitch wants, I don't want those roaches. All right. It says, I'm joking. Preventative maintenance, just like preventative analytics. What was I listening to? Was it on Joseph's show yesterday, on the Tech Tips show yesterday, where they were talking about predictive analytics? Was that the show? I listened to so many different things. I think it was yesterday, right? With Sheree, where she was talking about going into like predictive analytics for the app that she has. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was yesterday. But yeah, like preventative analytics, predictive analytics. How, like, you know, and just not to mention, right? This week, it was yesterday, right? So this week we're going to be talking about, on Wednesdays, software exploration, the concept and overviews. We're going to be talking about risk management, right? And how it plays a factor in how you need to protect your company, protect your team, protect your customers, because if not, it can be super, super expensive and your reputation can be severely damaged, right? So predictive analytics and preventative analytics, super important. Preventative maintenance, preventative testing, right? Preventative software development, so that you can prevent having like catastrophes, right? And that's why one of the reasons that I'm trying to connect with these startups who are like, when I say startup, it's really like 2 developers and they're just like hanging out and stuff like that, to create some software. I'm like, hey, you want to put this software out, you want to make money off of it, you need to get a QA engineer onto your team, so that you don't end up like going live and then it just crash and burn, right? I do not like to see you guys crash and burn when you just get started. So let me help you out. All right. So if you're interested, if you're building some sort of application and you need and you don't have any testing in place, let's say you don't even write unit tests, right? Which is the worst mistake you can make. Hit me up and I can get you connected and we can work together, right? Just throwing that out there, okay? Okay, let's go for our last 20 minutes before we are done for today. And Mitch says risk management, dope. Yep, that's what we're going to be doing this coming Wednesday. So hopefully to see everyone there as we have some fun with risk management. And just to mention, GRC it's a no-code aspect of cybersecurity, right? So there's, it's really cool. And maybe on Thursday we can research some GRC roles, see how much you get paid, what's out there. Okay, so let's go for our last 20 minutes before we wrap it up for the day. Like I said, there is Scrum Night tonight, so I'm going to be working with my tech barbarians so that we can move on to our next sprint. And the work that we're doing today couldn't come in any more valuable time because we are going to start moving our quotes to an actual database and not in the ghetto implementation that I have. Shout out to the ghetto implementations, right? All right, let's do it.
Let's go!
So it worked, right? We have our connection string and we can only connect through our IP address, right? Which helps because even if we don't have like let's say somebody was able to get access to your information, right? but they couldn't connect to your database and wreak havoc because of the because it's only my IP address is able to access it. Okay, so I mean, if you're able to like spoof my IP address, that's a whole different story. But yeah. All right, let's get to it. Let me open up Studio 3T. I think the name is. Let's go to here. Let's see. Or is it Robo? Oh, Studio 3T, right? So Studio 3T is a tool used to connect to Mongo databases. Eventually, I'm gonna go and get what's the name of that? It is for you know how I feel about IntelliJ softwares. But eventually, I'm gonna get Data Grip. I think it's called. Let's see. And let's move over to this screen. Let's cancel this connection. Oh my goodness, are you serious? Okay, cool. Let's see if we can connect to let's see. We can do new folder, Mongo Atlas. What we're doing now, we're just going to see if we can connect to. Let's delete. If we can connect to the database, right? So URI. So we're going to copy this URL from over here. Next. Your connection has successfully auto-configured. Great. I don't know what's next, but let's say we click on this and we connect, see what happens. Is that it? We're connected? Replica set. Interesting. Now, let's do this, right? We're going to go in AWS to see if everything is created. We could do add database, but let me go into AWS first. Let's see if it created separate servers for each of them, which it did. If it did, that's not what we want because that's going to cost us a boatload of money, which we don't want to keep spending more and more money on AWS. Console.aws. Where's my phone to get my authentication key? All right, we are in. All right, let's go. I'm already at $3 for the month. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to clean some stuff up. But let's go to EC2. And we have one instance running. That's interesting. So we have one instance running, one load balancer, one auto scaling group. Let's go here. Let's see, what else do we have happening over here? I gotta figure out why the Elastic Load Balancer is so expensive. That's one thing we need to figure out because I feel like I'm paying too much for this. Let's go to. Let's check in here. Refresh. Let's go to projects. So we have the database, we're connected to it. Let's see. See, we have a dedicated one, which I don't want dedicated. I want, let's look at our configuration, right? Cluster, M10 2 gigs, 10 gigs of storage, additional settings, MongoDB 6 backup, AWS. Cool setting, but not exactly what we're looking for. 11 cents an hour. See, yeah, see, crazy. We're gonna destroy this. We're not gonna keep this up. It's what I'll do is, like to run this, it would be super expensive. You will be billed hourly and can terminate your cluster anytime, which we are gonna terminate it at the end of the show. But we do have it set up, which if we had like some major thing running, that would be like cool. But we don't need this level what we're working on. What we are gonna do is setting up. So what we'll do next week, we're going to be setting up the other option. And we can see that. Let's say we go to, what we're going to do right now, we're going to look at here, where if we say we want serverless is what we want, and we're going to say AWS, but we're going to do this in, Terraform, right? But we're going to, let's see, only 2 most recent snapshots are available, included for free. View pricing. I don't think we need that level. Go with basic. Serverless instance. So yeah, what we'll do next week is we'll start like where we were last time, where we're going to create our serverless instance, where it's going to be a lot cheaper because it's going to be pay per operation starting at 1 cent per million reads. You'll be billed monthly for reads, writes, storage, and data transfer. Take a look at the pricing. Cost optimization is super, super important, all right? And we're not going to get that much. And if we do start getting that much, then the price of the brick is going to have to go up, but yeah, so cool stuff. So this is how I'm just looking through how it's done. And then next week, we'll actually be doing this through Terraform. We're going to do the serverless instance via Terraform, and we can see what we'll need already. We're going to need to say serverless. We're going to say AWS. We're going to say US East 1. A lot of things that we already have, and then we're going to say basic backup, and we're going to say give it an instance name, apply some tags to it, and that'll be it. All right. So but in the meantime, now that we have our dedicated box created, our dedicated MongoDB created, and if we look at this one, we will see database. Have all the information about our app that's running. But this is not like, and this might be something in the future. If this app becomes like popular and stuff like that, and we have a bunch of databases that we need to manage, we might need a dedicated in the setting. But for now, we really don't need this whole level of configuration, Yeah. All right, cool. So let's look again at this right here. And let's go ahead and let's create it. Let's, add a database. So let's say we were to call it all right. And let's see if we're able to create that. It's created. And let's say we do a collection. It doesn't matter. We're going to get rid of this anyways. But okay. Unauthorized command create requires authentication on server. The full. So there's some level of permission we don't have. So it let us create the database for some weird reason, but not create a collection. So you have the database. Add collection. Call that test. So with that being said, let's look back at the documentation to see what they at the steps. We are at here. Okay, we did all that already. Let's see what we got. Create MongoDB Atlas cluster. That. Terraform outputs. Set up your private endpoint. So we're not really, I don't need that part right now. Initial, we did that part. Review Terraform deployment. We did that. Apply configuration. We did that. Apply complete. We got that. Note, new AWS and MongoDB Atlas resource can take 15 minutes of provision, and provider will continue to give you a status update until it's complete. You can check on progress through the Atlas UI and AWS Management Console. I didn't see anything in my AWS Management, which is kind of weird. Right? Let's see. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I didn't see anything in my. I didn't see anything in AWS. Maybe I have to connect it to my AWS if I want it to run on my AWS. Right. Maybe right now it's running on theirs. I don't know. But that's not important because we're going to change it to the serverless anyways. Let's see. Connection strings. Okay. Lastly, as a reminder, the database user password is a sensitive secret, so you need to access it. So to access it, you need to go Terraform output. All right. We're gonna finish up with Terraform destroy, but let's see if I get this password, if I'm able to connect to it, to the database, right? We know what the username is, we know what the password is. Let's see if we can actually authenticate. I don't know why it would even let me create this database, but let's find out. Let's see. I have the database. But why can't I connect to this database? It says unauthorized. Who am I? What user am I using connecting to? Let's see. Say we disconnect. My connections. Edit. Authentication. Let's go with basic authentication. And the username is ppq-user1. Password, we're going to do output Terraform. So I'm on the other screen typing this right now so we can get the password that we should be using. Okay, and we're gonna go over here. Oops, not there. Here. Password. Let's see, test connection. Connecting to server failed. The database name should not be empty, but there is no database. Do I have a database? Oh, there is a database name actually. It would be um that's the database name. That says the connection again. Okay. All right, so exception authenticating, Mongo credentials. Exception authenticating. Weird. Hmm. User. Output. Um, hmm. I'm not sure why we're not connecting to the database. The information should be correct, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal right now. We were able to create the infrastructure. Connecting to the databases.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
That's something that we'll have to figure out, of course. But I think we're good for today, right? We got this far. We're able to. Wonder what happens if we go to this again. I don't even think the database got added because it would have been listed here. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. I think we did a great job for today. Next week we're gonna figure out creating the serverless one, and we'll go from there. Okay. So we are at the end of our show for today. It is 5:15 p.m. Eastern time. Gonna go get ready to. I actually have to continue getting ready for the week. Schedule videos. I have to record one more video. Need to have the meeting with our tech barbarians tonight. So many things to do, so little time. But we're here. We do not miss. We made it to the end. I hope you guys had an amazing, amazing time. If you haven't done so already, do me a huge favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live. And if you need one-on-one coaching from yours truly, Tech Coach Ralph, go over to www.techcoachralph.dev. Sign up for the Patreon where you can sign up with the upper tiers. You can sign up for one-on-one coaching where I will lead you to the promised land. All right. That being said, we're done for today. But before I go, I always have to ask you this one question. One question for you. One question. What's that question, right? What's that question? The question is, here's the question.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? I know you're here for much more than entertainment, but we have to make it fun. For me, every single time I go live with you guys, even when I'm frustrated with Netflix's safe test, I have tons and tons of fun with you. And that's my goal. We can have fun in the tech industry. A lot of people think like, oh my God, it's so boring. It's not for me. I said, nope, that's not the case. The reason that you don't find it interesting is because you don't make it interesting, and we can win together. We can make lots of money together, and we can have fun doing it, and we can learn together, right? So everything is about growth. Everything is about our success, my success, your success. We win together, okay? So with that being said, as Mitch told you earlier today.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. Today's price is not tomorrow's price, all right, people? So get your affairs in order. Not the type of affairs happening in Atlanta, but get your affairs in order. Let's go out there and let's win together, okay, folks? With that being said, I am going to wrap it up. I got things to do. So thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you guys a great and wonderful week this week. And if you ever need anything from me, do not hesitate to leave me a comment, talk to me in the chat, join the Patreon, whatever, send me an email, right? Whatever the case may be. But we are out. Thank you again, once again, for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful Sunday afternoon.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Hear me, warriors of the North. Today we have tasted the sweet nectar of victory. Our foes indeed defeated, and their lands are now bound before us. The gods themselves have favored our glorious deeds on this glorious day. We have shed blood, sweat, and tears to claim this land. Our relentless spirit, our unyielding determination. These are the very essence of our people. Let's believe our ancestors rejoice in the halls of Valhalla. For today, we have added to their eternal glory. Our victories will echo throughout the ages, and our names will be etched in the annals of history. But let us not forget the price we paid, the brothers and sisters we lost. They now feast in the hall of our forefathers, watching over us with pride. Their sacrifice has paved the way for this moment of triumph. Having celebrated this conquest, let us also remember that our journey is far from over. More land awaits our conquest, more battles call us forth. Let the fire in our hearts burn ever brighter, for there is no limit to what we can achieve. To those who dare stand against us, let them tremble in fear, for they shall witness the fury of the northern storm, the wrath of the untamed barbarians. Today we celebrate our victory. Tomorrow, we set our sights on new horizons, uncharted land where our banners will fly high. We are Vikings, we're barbarians, we are masters of conquest.